We're dealing with another mass shooting. Um, and this one, just like the other ones, we are all collectively responsible for it. My heart goes out to the families that, had to endure another tragedy like this. But the truth of the matter is, we as a society are responsible for all of these mass shootings that happen because it all starts with parenting. If you're not going to raise your kids correctly, incidents like this is going to occur. Even if you are, quote unquote, raising them correctly, are you actually talking to the kids? Are you actually, getting to know what societal influences are doing against them? Or are you one of those parents that tell them go watch TV or go on a computer or, anything for you to do your thing instead of trying to figure out what's going on in the lives of that child or children if you have multiple. And this is parents and guardians too. Um, we just have to take more time to get to know what's going on in our kids' lives and try to foster a way to have them think positive, do more positive things, and not be so concerned about other social influences. Is your kid being bullied? Is your kid being indoctrinated? And I'm not talking about just sexual, I'm just talking about other community gangs, anything. Indoctrination, unlike what you hear in the media, can be a multi-layered thing. It could be something of a sexual orientation. It could be of a group orientation. It could be a mentality orientation. It's so many things. I mean, let's go to the video game. This has been happening for decades. A lot of the video games that's been violent of nature were tempered by the fact that parents let the kids know it's a video game. It's a it's not real life. It's an alternate, you know, reality, so to speak. And it was quote unquote fun. Hell, I played them, you know. Of course, it was like at the infancy of what the video games were, but it's not about me. It's about the kids, and it's about the parents of those kids. You know, we have to do better. Um, in order for the violence to stop, we have to reach people directly. We have to go directly into their heads, into their mentality, and figure out what's wrong and correct it immediately, if not sooner. And yes, I meant to say it that way. Um, you, you know, right now we're at the point where, you know, it's never too early, but it is always too late to tell your kids how to, you know, have a positive outcome in society, especially once they get to the point of no return where you can't reach them anymore. That's why at this point, you have to reach out. You can't give up with trying to reach out to your kids and talk to your kids early. And even as young adults, even as teenagers, even, you need to talk to them more and figure out what's going on in their minds and their heads to stave off some of these feelings that they may have. I mean, anything can trigger it. It could be a racial influence, it could be a group mentality with some of the people that they're hanging out with. It could be a group of quote unquote misfits that were ostracized by another group, and then they want to take it out on everybody else. That they may just they're not happy and they hate to see other people happy. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. That's why we need to talk to them. That's why we all need to start reaching out to some of the kids that are distant to make sure that they're doing okay. They need our help always. Even if they appear to give you the right answer, still engage with them. understand them so stuff like this doesn't happen over and over again. If you could save one life, you might save many lives. Because once they reach that point where they don't care who they hurt, they're going to keep doing this, you know, and talk, engage, understand, empathize, be a parent. I'd rather have a strict parent than to have a, more accommodating parent if it means that it'll save the lives of not only my kids, but other kids and adults and so forth. You know, this problem is far beyond laws and, you know, regions and so forth. This is deep rooted in society that we unfortunately let everybody but us raise our children, and we set them up for it because we don't have time. Yeah, you may work 2, 3, 4 jobs, you may go to school, but you're still a parent, and those kids need you in their lives to communicate, to understand. We have to set the table for our kids to eat. We have to set the table for our kids to learn, grow, understand. Our kids are going to eventually have kids. Our kids would hopefully have a productive life. You know, you have to understand that the lack of communication, the lack of, good parenting, and I mean, I know it's difficult for a lot of people to understand because we're a couple of generations in where families don't even sit down at the dinner table no more and have a conversation. They don't sit around and watch a movie together. They don't. There's a lot of things that I did growing up. I don't even see affluent families do anymore because, again, the TV is raising our kids, computers, internet, social media, TikTok, you name it, YouTube, all of them. Everybody is raising our kids but ourselves. And we need to be more of a part of their lives to understand what's happening so we can prevent tragedies like this. And I think once they understand how precious life is and how precious life can be, and that they are loved, understood, and believed in, you will have less of these incidents happen. So we have to take the blame, but we also have to rework, relearn, retool, and start reaching out. And if we don't reach out to these kids, unfortunately, you're going to have more of these incidents happen over and over again. You're going to turn on the news, you're going to look online, you're going to look at other media, and it's like, damn it, it happened again, you know. And at what point are you going to get tired of seeing these visuals? At what point are you going to get tired of hearing these speeches back and forth, back and forth? It's too late then. That speech and everything that you're hearing on TV could have been taken care of instead of telling your son or daughter, go watch TV, go over here. And when they're around you, wanting to engage with you and learn from you, you're pushing them away. No, bring them closer, understand what they're going through, educate them, let them know they have support, and let them know there's a right course of action to take. Even if you don't know that course of action to take, give them a positive outcome, give them something to build themselves up to, you know. And it's going to take love, it's going to take time, it's going to take engagement. You're going to have to care, and you're going to have to do this. And we'll get through this if everybody cooperates with that. Everybody that's watching the video, you're part of the problem. I'm part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And people that's not watching this video is part of the problem. And instead of arguing with everybody else, take a look in that mirror and ask yourself, are you doing the best for your child, your children, whoever you're the steward of? Are you doing the best for them? And if you have family, friends, others that you feel like needs to hear some uplifting messages, why don't you be the one that tell them that? That way, it may diffuse some of that hatred that's built up deep down inside of that person that may want to go out there and lash out their anger towards, other people that they may or may not know because of not feeling like they're involved, that they're loved, or that they're appreciated, or even communicated with. You know, we're going to have to stop this violence and start reaching out. There's people that's around us that really, really are struggling. You can't judge a book by its cover. I don't care how beautiful that person is or whatever. They could be dying on the inside and they need you to help them engage with society. I mean, there's kids that's gone that never knew marriage, never knew how to get a job, never knew, how to have their own kids, never would have that feeling of driving a car, going on vacation on their own, building their own lives. I mean, you're looking at the totality of what is taken from them. And the only thing we could do is argue on TV about, gun rights and mental health and holding visuals and fundraisers when all of that could have been prevented just by you, and that includes me, just talking and engaging with some of these kids that, you know, just maybe either a little bit off, a little bit off putting, maybe just silent and just disengaged from everybody else. If we just take the time to engage with them, not just one time, but constantly, you know, I mean, that weed could actually be a flower. You don't know what's there until you engage with these kids and young adults to understand what's going on with them. They're crying out for help and they don't know how to ask for it because they don't have a template to ask for it. So if you understand that on a base level, please take the time to reach out so we can prevent future tragedies from happening.